Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here tonight and keeping us safe on the roads. Thank you for the weather, although it's not always pleasant. We do need the water for our plants and to grow our food. Lord, we thank you for the ability to come before you and ask you to bless our city, bless our town, and help us to do what's right for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It is 5:31 p.m. on Monday, July 10th. Hope everyone is doing well. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. May I please get approval of agenda? Is there any discussion needed for the agenda today? Okay. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Public comments.
There are no public comments.
All right, very good. Any public presentations?
Yes.
Yay!
With she's going to be the lady of the moment. She has exciting updates for all of us, and yeah.
It's been a
Huge
while.
updates.
Wait, can you hear it? Okay.
Gotcha.
So, whoa. We good? Okay. I don't know why it's kind of blanking out on us, but this is just a page. I promised you a PowerPoint, and what I'm trying to present to you is not to overwhelm you or give you too much information at one time, but we're putting it all together so that in the future, if you'd like to review it and then come back with questions, I'm happy to come back for another meeting. So our Richard Gray Complex, location number 1, we put together an RFP asking for engineering services to do a bunch of parking lot and sidewalk projects. And the reason we did that is because we were having a hard time getting contractors to respond to small jobs. And so we're lumping everything into a larger job. And we now have 9 projects in 4 different locations. Not all 9 pertain to you in the Parks and Recs division, but I want to show you the ones that do. So we've awarded the contract to EMC Engineering as of Thursday night. That went in front of council and was approved. Location number 1, as you probably remember, was value engineered out of the recreation center. It's this area in yellow. It's behind the recreation center, so when you walk in the back door, we lost a lot of parking back there, so that's going to help tremendously. I know it's not going to alleviate everything that you're going through, but that is parking lot area number 1. And, well, somehow the slides are a little bit out of order. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happened here, but... It's not loading. I'm sorry. Hey, Juan. None of the pictures are coming in. Is there a chance you're seeing it on your screen? Okay. That would be great. I'm so sorry. Oh, wait, stop.
There.
Let's see.
It says they're not downloaded yet.
Oh yeah, they're not downloading on any of those. Okay. Oh, I was hopeful that maybe it popped back in, but yeah, maybe if you could. I'm sorry. Little delay. It's worth it, I promise. It's easier when there's pictures. Is it the file size maybe that's too large?
Looks like it's there.
That's usually not an issue. I'm not sure it's there though. It should pull up. You can see it on the side. You should be able to pull up the slide. If it makes you feel any better, I can't.
It's not loading for you either.
Well, it's taking a minute. That may have been the problem.
Wi-Fi's been funky all day
May have not
with the storms.
Yeah, something hasn't been.
It's been wonky.
Yeah, it's a long Monday.
Flooded.
Yeah. Oh darn. Saying repair. I don't know.
There we go.
Yay, you got some pictures. All right. What's the use of a PowerPoint if you don't have pictures?
Exactly.
Okay. So We just talked about the parking lot behind the rec center building. I'm gonna just go down to a few other pages here. So in our Richard Gray complex, as you're aware, you've got Juju right here, and then you've got this large parking lot here, this large parking lot here. That's also part of our various parking lot and sidewalk projects that are going to get designed by EMC Engineering. Again, the pictures are not loading on this. It's thinking about it. It's blocked it out. Darn it. Well, maybe we just got to push through. There's something wrong. Maybe the files. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not going to load for us. It's not going to load. So,
Oh, there.
one of the third parking lots that are part of our RFP is on Randall Street here. We acquired what used to be an old church piece of property. And so that parking lot will also be attached via a pedestrian bridge between these two parking lots. So we'll change the fencing here to accommodate locking this new area of parking. And it's just expanding on our Richard Gray complex in a way that we can accommodate some of these sporting events and other events. I'm going to go.
So it's just at a design phase,
That is correct. It's at the design phase.
but the other one is not.
The other one being which one?
The first one that you talked about.
No, that
That one's being paved. Yeah. Okay. But this one that you're talking about is just in the design stage.
Okay, so right, when we put out the RFP and we awarded it Thursday night, engineering will take all of those locations and start designing it, and then we'll put it out for a bid for contractors to come and bid on it. And after we award to a contractor, it'll be in the construction phase. Yes.
Alright, so number one was gym parking lot, number two was,
So, right, you've got a parking
By-
lot here behind the rec center.
right,
Now, this one's a little bit different than the others. This one we had designed in and then value engineered out. So this should be a very quick and easy design for our new
All right.
engineer
that's why I'm
record.
confused. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand your confusion now.
Okay.
So when the original design got value engineered out, that doesn't mean they have to recreate the wheel for this. Now, we did originally think that this was a wetlands delineation, and we've learned now that it is not. So that's also going to open up like another 10 spaces, which we thought we were going to have to give back. So that'll have to get designed right here, but this shouldn't take long, and it is a priority. So
All right.
we're phasing it in a way that as soon as the design work is done on these, we start putting those out for bid. So, yeah. Well, without the pictures, it's a little harder to talk about the trail project that we've started about a month ago. The contractors came in, and the trail project runs back here, and it goes around your lagoon, and you have a bridge about right here, and then it proceeds down to the auxiliary field, which at this time the pictures would have showed you how muddy and messy it is back there, but they've made great progress. Today they were working on some infiltration trenching, and of course got rained out. But moving right along, we're expected to hit our completion deadline, and our grant is not in, should I say, risk anymore. So yeah, if we had these pictures uploaded, well, hey, wait, look at that. Some of them maybe are coming in. Let's go to that page and see if I can get the, well, spoke too soon. Okay. They were on the last page here. Yeah. Well, there's one that loaded. That's so strange that one out of the 7.
In the order that it is, and then come back to it. Maybe it'll upload by then.
Yeah, well, at least you see some of the silt fencing up, and this is where the trail is getting installed, so it's messy. Yeah, sorry, not sure what happened. There were some great pictures right here. So I've covered the trail project essentially. If you have questions about the construction, I'm happy to answer. And then our various sidewalk and parking lot project. I didn't actually cover all the sidewalks we're planning to do, but in the pictures, I would have been able to show you the aerial view. We have a sidewalk that, if you can imagine this being the football field, and you have the stands on this side, in order to create ADA compliance, we're putting in a sidewalk that goes out to the parking here, and then another sidewalk that connects to the concrete here. And then we're going to pave this area for the ambulance back in or emergency vehicle back in. And then over here, there's a chunk of pavement that's really messed up. I just wanted to replace it because it's a good time to do that. So we're replacing that. And then excuse me, between the basketball court and the dog park, there's a patch of grass here that makes for an additional 20 plus spaces of parking. So we're going to pave that for parking, and then there's going to be connectivity with a sidewalk in front of the basketball courts that lead to this parking lot. So all of that will get kicked off hopefully at the same time, and we'll find contractors that are excited about the bulk of that work. We had, let's see, was that all of, let me just count. We've got 1, 2, I think that's all of it for that RFP. And then we'll talk about Juju, which phase 1 is complete. And I'm sure you've been back there to see that it still has the temporary construction fencing. Phase 2, of which we met on May 30th with all of our design team. So we have our lead engineer of record, which is Alliance Consulting. We've got Whitmer Jones Kiefer, which is the landscape architect. There's a pavilion designer who's an architect at Parker Design Group. And then we have another civil engineer that we brought on board for the grinder pump station that sits behind that area, because unfortunately there's been a capacity issue with that. And so we've asked that they revise their drawings, since some of this was not coordinated properly with that grinder pump project. And we're waiting on those drawings to come back with the revisions that we've asked for, and then we'll get that out to bid. So our meeting was May 30th. I've been checking in regularly, and we're still waiting on a little bit of coordination, but we're anticipating in a few more weeks we'll be putting that out to bid.
Money expires in the fall of 2023. So does that mean it has to be granted or it has to, the work has to be done? How does that work?
Jen would probably better answer. When does that
The-
expire?
The Juju, sorry, I was.
So, so for the Juju, you got the candy. Jen's eating a peanut butter cup. Why don't we have her answer?
I was trying to reply to an email. So the grant for the trail that we have is going to expire at the end of the year. So that we're well on track. We're covered. As far as the Juju Hudson Park, I think there was $75,000 that we were looking at. If we don't get it done in time, it's not a big deal. We have that funding in our general fund. The reason why we were going after that grant was so that we'd be able to alleviate and be able to free that up. And then the rest of the funding for this is done through ARPA funds. We're
So
covered.
there's no expiration on that grant.
No.
Yeah, we can get an extension on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this slide has a lot more information than it really needs to have, but I put this together probably 2 months ago, and phase 3 talks about tying in Juju with the parking lots. So our anticipation is to have the park done, the playground portion of it, prior to doing any of the paving on either side. I don't want to have it the opposite. I don't want paving while kids are still playing out there. So we want to have it done.
By
And
done, you mean the fencing around the playground, or?
correct. Yeah, that would be able to, yeah, keep them behind the locked gate. Let's see if there's another slide that's worth bringing to, no. So our pavilion design, I want to touch on this. This is something that we would love to have as designed. And as designed a year ago, versus today's pricing, unfortunately, very different scenarios. Recently, I was told that they built this elsewhere for $450,000 as designed. That is not in our budget. And so we have to go through this redesign process to value engineer this, which at this time, I don't know what that's going to look like. If it's just going to reduce in size or if we're going to eliminate the bathrooms, but we're working through that. So, value engineering, not the best news, I'm sorry, but things are turning around. I'm seeing material costs come down or at least correct a little bit. But labor is still the biggest part of it.
That's part of the playground? Is that gonna be like right off of it?
So this shelter pavilion, you'll see in the gray zone right here. So this is your aerial view when you're looking down. Here's the ball fields. We have this portion of it done with the playground equipment. So right next to it would be where this pavilion sits, that gray roof. And then all of this gets installed, which is, at one time it was a splash pad, but it's no longer a splash pad. It's really just grass, somewhere for the kids to run around that they're still contained, but get the wiggles out. That's the Juju Hudson Playground, and I think that's all I got for you. So, open it up for questions.
The road to get to that auxiliary field in the back, which is what last talk was possibly turf. Is there gonna be, you have to now go to the parking lot to get to over there, or?
Great question. So that was part of the redesign, and let's look at this. When you're driving through the Richard Gray complex and you come down here, the way that this looks, they took away that access road and we put it back in. This will not look the same. This roundabout will be redesigned to continue to keep this handicap parking. However, we want that road because it is a bad design to eliminate it, and then you only have access through here, especially for emergency vehicles, of which our fire marshal looked at this and said, that's a really tight turn up there. I mean, we're gonna have to take away spacing in order to get the radius that he needs. And so the better option is to just eliminate some of this green space and keep the road, which, yeah. So the paving project, you were asking if this road that would get paved, is that your question?
No, I did not see that road being continued. That was my question.
Yeah, and my design documents that I've asked for, when I get those updates, I'll be sure and add that in the next PowerPoint to show you the before and after why we redesigned it. Yeah,
So that access road will be paved?
eventually, yes. You're right. Correct. Right now, the paving stops about right here. So you've got the roundabout and the paving kind of stops right where the gate is to go into the entrance for the concessions. So all of this, we would like for that to be connected and paved, and yeah.
On this, parking lot above Juju, how many more spaces have been added to that, Jenny?
This design right here,
Yes.
I've not asked that Delta. I can get that information for you, but I don't know what the current count.
Added spaces.
I don't know for sure because the current count has to include additional islands with our planning ordinance. You see these islands for
Right.
trees, and right now we do not have those islands out there, so that would take away some spaces. So it's possible. It's possible they.
There are islands that are out there. They're just, you can't see them.
Oh, okay.
But as far as adding, I think when we did the last survey, probably maybe 2.5 years ago, I think it was going to add like maybe 10, if that.
I knew it wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. And even with the road going up, the road is not still open for public access. That road, we decided to keep more for maintenance stuff, because if not, we'll have everyone parking like they did before. And then you've got all the, whatchamacallit, that's back there. One of the main lines for sewage and all that stuff is back there. So
Right.
it'll be open like when we have events like, 4th off May and all that kind of stuff. So it's open for first responders to be able to get back there if something happens, or during games, like when USCB has a game back there, it's open for first responders to be able to get back there, but it's not open to the public like it was before.
Can I drop down to the bottom parking lot by the basketball court? How many
Oh,
spaces are we
this
adding?
one here?
No, ma'am.
Oh, this one.
On that one, how many are we adding there? Any idea?
I don't have the final count on that. I'm sorry, and I can get that information. That's a great question because, I mean,
That's at least 80. There's at
it's a
least-
lot.
Yeah,
It,
it was planned between 75 to 100.
yeah,
And then now having a pedestrian walk path over to.
Right
the
here.
Roosevelt Gate will offer a lot more as well.
yeah.
All
And
right,
this is all stuff that
and
we need.
I didn't even realize, I know we've been talking about that piece of property. We bought the church and all.
No, sir. Yeah.
Just up to
Yeah.
just the parking
Just
lot
the
that we've
parking.
used in the
Mhm.
past.
So they subdivided the lot. If you can imagine, the church is about right here. It was one big rectangular space, and they cut the lot in half, and this parcel got sold off to a private company. It's Greenery Goods something. They do herbs, and then this section here where it's mostly just grass is what the city purchased, and we purchased that back in. Well, I know that they went into negotiations in March, so it closed somewhere in April, May.
And how many more spaces over there?
A lot. It's
It's a big area.
4 acres. It's a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big.
It's a big.
Yeah, it's pretty sizable. I mean,
Looking at,
It's that area we use for parking now, that overflow area.
it is. Yeah, people
Yeah.
are just parking in the grass, but
You're very familiar with it because it's where everybody parks now.
it helped a lot during the 4th on Main or 4th off Main.
Yeah.
I felt like Randall Street at least didn't have any overflow parking blocking the drive lane like it was last year. So
Yeah.
that was good. Any other questions? No. Sorry, next time I'll test this PowerPoint before I come in, make sure it works with the photos. You saw some of them at least.
I promise it worked.
It did.
Well, you're going to send it to us, right?
We can do that, sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, any other public presentations? Okay, perfect. Any old business?
No, sir.
I feel like that summed up a bunch of our old business. That was good. Presentation and approval of minutes from June 12th. Any discussion from last month's meeting? If none, can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. New business.
There is no new business at this time.
All right, and director report.
Okay, that's kind of hard to follow. There's so much that's going on right now, and even more coming in the pipeline. So if you think we're busy now, strap in. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on the shelter down at Millstone. It is done, completed, passed inspection. Everything is up. Today, we received the ADA bench. So they'll be putting that in as soon as we have a little bit of free time. But if you haven't been down there, I encourage you to go and look. That was a great partnership. We received $40,000 from PARD grant, and then the city chumped in an extra 20. So it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a really nice place to go down, have lunch, and just chill to watch the water. It's very peaceful. So that is done. So we can check that off our list. Didn't think we'd ever get it rolling, but we did. We also have a pretty big event that's happening this Wednesday. For those of you that help with Fill the Bus, my goodness, we have got, I think, 19 or 20 different neighborhoods in Sun City. We also have Hilton Head Lakes that participates. We also have Latitude Margaritaville. So it's going to be kind of crazy. We have 2 buses this year. So it's gotten to the point that's gotten so big that we have to move all the operations over to the rec center. So we'll be literally one half of the gym. Public Works, we can't thank them enough for the last couple of years, but we've outgrown the space. So Public Works will be with us to help pick up all of that on Wednesday. And for anyone out there in the public that wants to volunteer, we encourage you to show up at the rec center at about 12 o'clock, and that's when we will handle the sort. And all of the supplies are donated. We sort everything out. And then from there, what we do is we bag everything up, and then the following day, we literally take it directly to the schools. So we've got a little bit of stuff and change for next year on how we're going to do everything, but I also want to make sure that Mayor Williams' wife, Miss Beth Williams, who really organizes all this stuff, we're kind of just the help on the other end. So it has done an amazing thing over the last couple of years since we've been here, and even before that. I mean, this was, I want to say, back when Joe Gailey maybe was here, that they started, and then Councilman Spizo had helped as well, and it's just, kind of been something that we've continued. So it is huge, and it is happening. I don't know how it got to be July, but we blinked, and we're already talking about Christmas. So, but that is happening this Wednesday. Some other things that we're working on as well is our big rig day. We're going to be looking at doing that very soon, getting some big rigs out for all the kids. And it's really fun, unique. Last year we had it, had a good participation, so we're looking forward to that. And we're also opening up the food vendors right now for Festival on Main. There's a few slots that are already starting to sell. It's crazy. Last year we actually sold out. So if you know anyone that has a food truck that wants to get in, we highly recommend that you get in now, so that you're not waiting at the end trying to figure out if you can get in. We are still looking for an open position for our part-time guest specialist. So if you know of anyone, I think we've got a few applications that have come in, so we're going to be doing some interviews on that shortly. And we have hired our part-time athletic assistant. So we will have them at the very next meeting, so you'll be able to meet him. And they will be down at the park. Gary, you'll be happy to know. In the evenings, to help alleviate any problems or issues. That's really what he's there for, is to help make sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that the park is, a safe, secure place, not only for our users, MOU users, but obviously the public at large. So we're excited about that. Also, too, we had a little bit of an event that happened, just a small one. The 4th off Main was a lot of fun. We had almost 1,200 people, and we kind of changed some of the dynamics of how we did everything, so it was really neat. Hopefully everyone that showed had a fun time. We can't wait till next year, so lots and lots of fun. Bus open volleyball is still happening. We've also started a pickleball league. So anyone that's out there that wants to play pickleball, come check it out. We also have pickleball Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning. And then the mixed pickleball league is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that is starting soon, July 18th. So that's next week, I believe. So lots of really cool stuff going on. And then, let me think, there was one other thing that we were doing. We met with the Daughters of the American Revolution. They do a lot of different historical placards for the American Revolution, and I'm sure many of you know Perrysburg is very close to one of the sites of the battles that occurred there. So we are working with them to try and get some trailhead signage down at Millstone. Very historical. It's much like you would see on a trail or anything like that. So at zero cost to the city, and it's very informative for that area down there. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more information on that. And then the last big thing, which we briefly talked about at the last meeting, is the FLAP grant. So what we are trying to do is to look at building a very nice trail all the way from Millstone all the way down to the Savannah National Wildlife Refuge.
Wow.
That is almost, not quite 16, 17 miles. So you can imagine the cost per mile for a trail, how expensive it is. But a lot of folks ask, what are we doing with our trails? What are we doing with the plan? Obviously, opening up the first trail back here, it was the smallest trail in the plan, and we were very fortunate to be able to have DA fees that help pay for that. So all the developers and the new houses that come in, that's what's helping to pay for that. Those fees don't come in all the time. So it's nice to get them, and then, we have to be able to utilize those funding for it. So we are actively doing that. But the FLAP grant, we will probably, depending on how much the exploration goes, as far as to the grant funding, we're probably looking at anywhere between 3.5 to 4 million that we're going to ask for. And of course, this is not in the ALTA plan right now. So of course, there's going to be some design. All that information will come back, much like the Richard Gray plan came to you all for approval first before it goes to council. So there's a lot of things that we're working through. The deadline for that grant is, I believe, the end of September. So we're working very quickly on that. We have weekly meetings with them to go over everything. But if we can actually get this done and passed, it is zero cost to the city. And the city will take ownership. This is all through federal funds. And it will be an amazing, amazing, huge trail. And it will bring in a ton of folk, especially because the route in which it goes, there's lots of sweeping views of the Savannah National Wildlife, the river, different access points. So you can almost imagine heading to parts of the Savannah National Wildlife on a bike, because there is a bike trail that's there already, and being able to see all that while you're on the bike. And there's a lot of different areas within that we have to kind of work through. And we're also still looking at working with the East Coast Greenway on a portion of the different tract as well. So we're getting some information from DOT there. So those are a lot of big things coming through the pipeline, a lot of tax dollars at work. So a lot of preparation, and I'm very, very excited for it. And the last thing that we're also doing some exploratory work on is our auxiliary. So right now we have the ability to go after some undiscovered funds from South Carolina. It's a grant for about $200,000. For those of you that were around when the turf field was built back here, it was not quite $1 million. This turf field won't be as big. This is right around a 70 to 80 foot turf field, which is typically used for 7-side when we're playing soccer. So a lot of folks have no idea what that is. It's just smaller numbers of soccer, and there's tournaments all over the U.S. So our goal is to try and bring more and more of that, as well as looking at doing some flag football and that kind of stuff. For anyone that's not really paying attention out there, our Richard Gray complex has really kind of started to develop into a sports tourism area along with a rec center. So that grant is due at the end of this month. So timing is of essence. We should have our explorations done by Wednesday. And after that, it's a matter of me and Neil working together to get all the literature together and making it a good solid package. And fingers crossed, we'll be able to do it. So, but other than that,
What are the chances for the FLAP grant and the state grant?
I would say the flat grant probably a 90 to 95% probability.
Cool.
The undiscovered, it's a 50-50. You just never know.
So it's more competitive.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, the undiscovered funds are very competitive, much like the trail grants are. The FLAP grant is federal, so you really have to have your plan in place. And we have an awesome partner. A lot of places aren't able to get that partnership together, so we're able to do all that. And
Yeah, they want you ready to go.
yes, we've already got letters of support. So we're literally ahead of the game. It's just a matter of making sure that we can still get all the design phase, all that stuff done. Because again, you're not looking at just a small mile
Right.
trail. You're looking at an almost 20-mile trail. And there's still the connectivity piece that we want to do, not just with that trail, but we also want to be able to connect our community to, Beaufort, to be able to get from Beaufort all the way up to Hilton Head. So there's a whole big mix that all needs to be done. And we have our guests in the audience right now who are big components of that. So trails are huge, and it's, just the way connectivity in itself is a huge wave that's coming when you take a very small town like Hardyville and you start to grow and grow and grow. It's essential that your community is able to connect, whether it's bike paths or, pedestrian paths, to be able to get from point A to point B. So a lot of growth is coming. So nothing that you guys didn't already know, but it is very exciting to be able to
Have
be
the
a part
money
of it.
for it.
Yes, it's very exciting. So, but other than that, that's all I have. Just a little bit of stuff.
All right, perfect. Any issues or concerns that need to be brought up by members? Terry? Anything?
Good.
Kevin? Tammy?
The only question I had, I hadn't heard anything about the Christmas parade and when we're going to start meetings with that.
Yes. So that should have been in my list, but it's not on here. So the Christmas parade, we are a little behind on it. We are going to send an email out as soon as Fill the Bus is done. we will start meeting on that to see who from last year, wants to be on that committee again. And we'll get rolling on that probably here, by the end of this month.
Okay, and how often does it meet? For anybody who's thinking?
Probably once a month.
Okay.
We're not going to do a theme like we did last year, and the route has more or less been established. All the hard work as far as, getting the application process in, all that stuff approved, that stuff's already been done. So this year, one of the main things that we need is more hands on deck to be able to get more folks to come in. The date we have is December the 1st for the tree lighting, which is Friday night. And then Saturday, it's the same day as the Bluffton Parade. Bluffton Parade is in the morning. So we're trying to get ours in the afternoon, so folks coming from that parade will be able to come to us. And we're going to see how all of that kind of meshes together this year.
So that's
That
the
is the
second.
plan. Yes.
The after party, the Christmas.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. With snow and the ice skating and all that kind of fun stuff. Yes. Yeah. We just won't have it as long. Most of the, I would say it's about
6:15, I think most people started to kind of dissipate.
in the crowd. So, but yes, it is coming, Tam.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were still on track for that.
Yes.
Hate to say it, but it is July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of Christmas planning and, why are you talking about Christmas? Why was I talking about 4th of July?
January.
Well, Cracker Barrel has its Halloween stuff out, so I know.
Oh.
You have anything to say?
No, I'm good.
We had mentioned a while ago, there was an issue with Constant Contact sending out the newsletters. Is that,
Yeah,
Rebecca,
it is
what?
working. Have you actually registered for Constant Contact?
I thought it was part of the actual, okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you have, so, we can send a link out to everybody again, but all you have to do is register for it and it will automatically send it to you. You might want to check your spam file. That's where mine comes.
Okay.
But yes, it is working. We checked on that. I thought I had sent an update, but I apologize if you didn't.
And I might have missed it when,
Yeah,
I mean,
but it is working. What I'll do is I'll send you a link to it.
Thank you.
And then all you have to do is just kind of sign up for it. And then, if you don't get it within that next month, let me know. But you should, like I said, everything else that I know of is working and good to go.
do you have anything?
I do not.
Very good. So we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Our next meeting will be Monday, August 14th, right here at 5:30 PM in City Hall Council Chambers. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.